Hey everyone, are you feeling the need for a vacation or an adventure? If so, Paris is an outstanding destination to consider. It's an iconic city full of history and top tier sites with relatively easy access from North America. That makes it super special, but it also means people try and pack too much into their trip, which ends up being a mistake. Paris looks compact on a map, but between museums, lines, walking distances, and simply wanting to sit in a cafe and enjoy the atmosphere, it's very easy to overschedule and end up negatively impacting your trip. So, what I wanted to walk you through is how I would personally structure 6 days in Paris. So, you see the highlights, enjoy great neighborhoods, and still have time to actually experience the city. Before we start, a quick reminder on me. My name's Tim Brown, and I started the Caravel Travel collection based on nearly 30 years of travel and planning experience across dozens of cities in over 30 countries. What I've really learned during that time is that a great trip really isn't about checking off the most sites from my list. It's about pacing my days well. It's about grouping the things I want to do logically by neighborhood or geographic area and building in space for meals or exploring to find what ends up being the hidden gems of my trip. So, with that in mind, here's how I'd think about the 6 days in Paris at a high level. Day one is really about orientation and settling in. If you're coming from North America, you're going to arrive most likely early in the morning. So my suggestion is check into your hotel and then keep your schedule light for that day. Explore your immediate neighborhood, walk along the river if you're nearby, and maybe visit a garden or a small attraction. So think about something like Place Vosges, Tuileries. These are great places to spend some quiet time and get to know your surroundings. The goal is to get your bearings and adjust without overloading your first day. Then day two becomes your first major sightseeing day. This is a great opportunity to schedule in one of your big museums or an iconic landmark. Pair that with some sites nearby so you're not crisscrossing the city endlessly. One thing you want to be cautious about is sort of wasting away your time and budget with transportation cost. I always recommend limiting yourself to one major museum in a day so you don't burn out. So think of maybe one of the group, either the Louvre, the Orsay, or Orangerie, but not all three in one day. Day three then gives you the opportunity for exploring a historic neighborhood or maybe a classic Paris experience. This could be wandering through an older district, so think of the Marais or the Latin Quarter or Montmartre. Visit some churches or small museums, or just spend some time walking and observing daily life. What I find from talking to friends and other travelers is that these types of experience often become their favorites, and it helps their trip feel less structured and more immersive. Now, on day four, you're settled into your new time zone, you're acquainted with your city. Now is a great time to add in what will be for you a signature experience. This could be a museum or a market or a long walk in a specific neighborhood that you're particularly interested in, something that's going to feel uniquely memorable to you. I like to build one of these standout days into every itinerary so the trip has a highlight that anchors the overall experience. Day five then becomes a flexible day. This is your buffer, and what it gives you is the opportunity to go do something that you've learned about during your first 4 days, go back and visit something you didn't have time to do wholly or at all in one of those prior days, or fit in something different like a neighborhood that you want to explore, some shopping you want to do, maybe you want to do some spa time at your hotel. All of those things are great, but now after 4 days, it's an opportunity to relax just a little bit, slow down again, and keep yourself flexible to do what you want to do. Then on day six, I like to add in typically a one of two things. One, either I expand my scope a little bit within the city, get a little further out of the center of the city, go do something that's like on that second tier list of sites, or I like to do a short day trip. So in Paris, the obvious example here would be going to see Versailles. Or if you have young kids, maybe it's Euro Disney. But the idea here is that at the end of your trip, you will have had a nice 4 or 5 days within the core of the city, as well as an opportunity to spill out or ripple out into a bit of a day trip, which will cause you to feel like you've seen the region a little bit more when you're done with your trip and you get home to tell some of your friends. So, with all this in mind, a few planning principles that really matter, I think, when you're planning any trip, but for Paris in particular. First, you should really group sites geographically whenever possible. Paris is really walkable. It's a great city, but distances definitely add up, and we've all been in that situation when you're 3 or 4 days in, you've walked 30,000 steps a day, and you're exhausted. You want to do what you can to avoid that. So use taxis or group things close by so that you're not zigzagging across the city endlessly. Second, plan one anchor activity per day. Everything else should flow naturally around that one activity. This can be anything you want, but at the end of the day, think about layering your activities rather than grouping as to do similar things all together. The example here is I think of parks like Luxembourg Garden or Tuileries as one layer. I think about museums like the Louvre or the Orsay as a layer two. I think about dinners or dining experiences as a third layer. Maybe Sacre Coeur or Saint Chapelle and churches are a fourth layer. The idea is to mix these things so that you're getting 2 or 3 layers of activities that are different in each day rather than bundling one day full of 3 museums, which will end up burning you out and causing you to really not enjoy any of the sites that you've seen. Third, recognize that you can't do everything in one week. Focus on quality rather than volume. Great cities like Paris warrant more than one visit in your lifetime. Just know going in, you can't do it all, and you're going to have a few things on your list when you're finished. Fourth, respect mealtime. Paris, in particular, is a city where meals are part of the experience, not something you want to rush between activities. So, plan to take time to sit down and eat, plan a special meal that will help sort of you to experience the culinary expertise of the country, as well as sort of the cultural ambiance that is mealtime. And then finally, on a similar vein, build in margin. So leave space for wandering or shopping or simply sitting and enjoying a coffee. This is something that gives you a unique opportunity to find hidden gems, to rest when you need to, and then find spots that become memories that you otherwise wouldn't have found. These moments often become the most memorable parts of a trip. So, if this kind of structuring sounds appealing and you'd like a complete day by day plan with hotel and restaurant recommendations, built in pacing, and interactive maps, I've created a full 6 day Paris itinerary that you can find on my website, which is linked in the bio below. In the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed this. Enjoy your planning and safe travels.